What's going on, Laker fans? Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you guys being a part of another ass kicking. Thank you for being a part of the show. So we'll switch out the hat again. See if that does anything. We'll run out of hats here. So I have too many to choose from. But yeah, it's probably not going to do anything. But play a little superstitious game. Then we'll play a little superstitious game. Lakers lose to the Atlanta Hawks. They get their asses kicked. I don't remember this one was. This might have been the Lonzo draft. I think it was the Lonzo draft. Lakers lose again. Lose to the Atlanta Hawks. This is becoming tradition now for the Los Angeles Lakers. What is tradition without losing pretty much every night and getting your ass kicked in the process, playing absolutely no defense in the process, and then probably coming up with some type of excuses of why the team lost and basically that other teams are not dealing with the same thing in the NBA. So I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Number of things that I want to get into. Talk about the Lakers and basically how they virtually play absolutely no defense anymore. Last five games, as pathetic as it gets on the defensive side. Christian Wood, kind of a interesting exchange going on there. He puts out a tweet before the game when the starting lineup comes out, says it's not about that. I don't know. He also said some stuff in the post game that I thought was interesting. DeJounte Murray versus D'Angelo Russell. We got a chance to see DeJounte. Listen, I don't know how you guys feel. I think Murray's a baller. I'd love to have DeJounte Murray on this Lakers team. I really, really would. And he would be on the team. He's got a 4-year extension kicking in. So obviously, because of all the trade rumors and the trade conversations and everything else, we got to talk about that because the two guys were going up against each other. I got some concern with Anthony Davis just because AD didn't play tonight. And, we'll see, obviously, what happens from there. Next game Lakers got is on Thursday against the Boston Celtics. So we got a lot to get into. If you got some comments that you want to throw out there, feel free to throw any comment that you want. I don't want to have anyone feel obligated by any stretch of the imagination. But if you throw a super chat in, the super will 100% get read. If you don't throw a super, I'll do my best to get to it anyways. And the last thing I just want to mention too, if you have yet to subscribe to this channel, please subscribe to this channel. Okay. Now they're ass-kicking Laker fans. I already saw some of the comments. Some of the comments I thought were pretty funny in the beginning. Wesley, as an example. I don't want to hear anything about this game. Y'all have a good night. Depressed the Lakers are doing this to me. Well, I'm going to do the show either way. So I get it if you don't want to listen to any of this Laker chatter and this Laker conversation. I understand it. But I'm going to do my job and do it. By the way, not just do my job tonight, but do it tomorrow and do it Lakers talk tomorrow. And probably if I have something going on, I'll throw it up on YouTube. So I'm with you on that one. Not fun talking Lakers basketball right now. Another L, 138-122, the final score. Let me just say this, and I get Anthony Davis is not playing tonight. I actually genuinely thought the Lakers would win this game tonight. I thought in my head, you see, Laker fans, I find a way sometimes to just confuse myself. This is how I confuse myself. I told myself that, no, I think the Lakers are going to be okay tonight. And the reason why I thought that was going to happen is because I thought they were going to be pissed off about yesterday's loss. I thought, for how bad they played against the Houston Rockets, the fact that they got punked in the process too. I mean, sometimes you can lose, but I think there's other punked yesterday against the Houston Rockets. Basically, against the Rockets, this is what happened. The Lakers got a couple uppercuts and then had a choice. Do you want to get up or do you not? And they said, no, we'll sit right here. Until the fourth quarter, they decided, no, let's get up now so Braun can log in 37 meaningless minutes against the Houston Rockets. That's what happened yesterday. So maybe I'm delusional. And I thought for a second there, I'm saying to myself, like, you know what? Maybe the Lakers are going to come out. They're going to show some fight tonight. Maybe it's going to be a little bit different of a type of game. I'm an idiot. Atlanta, listen, I won't say from the jump, it's not like the Lakers were down 15 or something like that by the time the first quarter was done. But Lakers from the get-go just basically told you, yeah, defense is not how we're going to win this game. Well, for those who don't know, I'll help educate you on this one. The Atlanta Hawks don't play defense. Basically, they're all offense. The Atlanta Hawks are going to win games because of their offense, period. That's how they're going to win games. The Atlanta Hawks are going to win games because they're going to find a way to outscore you. So the Lakers early on kind of have already said that, all right, defense is not going to be our priority. I'll get into how bad their defense has been over these last 5 games. But by the time the first quarter was done, you gave up 36 points already. By the time you're at halftime, you're at 67 points. They gave up 78 yesterday, 67 tonight against the Atlanta Hawks in the first half. They just don't play defense. And you're not going to replace Anthony Davis. There's no way of doing it. AD not playing this game obviously really, really hurts the Lakers. But if you think you're going to outscore the Atlanta Hawks, that ain't going to happen. So the only shot that you have is we got to play D. You got to muddy the water. You got to get this game. It's got to be around 110, 112, 115 max against the Atlanta Hawks, and then maybe you got a shot. But of course, for the Lakers, that was not the case. Defense, forget about it. I mean, they're playing. Look how crazy this stat is. I'm going to stop trying to promote it. I'm just going to tell you what it is. I put this tweet out a little bit before right before the game ended. But Lakers' last 5 games on defense, look at this list of what the Lakers have gave up in their last 5 games. You got no shot of winning consistently if this is how you're going to play defense. They gave up 127 to the Clippers. They gave up 132 to the Chicago Bulls. They gave up 144 to the Warriors. I know that game was in double overtime, 144. 135 last night and 138 tonight. What's crazy is I thought the whole identity of what the Lakers were supposed to be this year was no. Our identity is going to be on the defensive side. Our identity is going to be, when I say our, as in I've heard Darvin Ham talk about this, not my team, but I've heard Darvin Ham talk about this, where the identity for the Lakers is going to be on the defensive side. That's how the Lakers, it was actually part of the reason why I thought at one point they changed their starting lineup. And one of the reasons was we need an identity. We don't have an identity right now. So our identity is going to be defensively. I think the average of that, I didn't do the math, but I saw Spectrum do something on it. It's like 135 a game that the Lakers are giving up. How the hell are you going to win games in the NBA, giving up 135 points a game? And, oh, by the way, you're supposed to be a defensive-minded team. Just bad basketball everywhere that you look. This happened to me yesterday, and it's going to happen to me again tonight. I can't really talk about the players on offense. I will, because there's kind of no point. Sadiq Bey, 18 points. Johnson for the Atlanta Hawks, 19 points. Trae Young, 26 points. DeJounte Murray, 24 points. Bogdanović just comes in, instant offense, 18 points. That's 7 dudes in double figures. I mean, did anything they wanted to do. And it's not like the Lakers didn't have runs. Lakers would have runs where, what was the worst the Lakers were down in this game? I just want to look here because I can't remember off the top of my head. The worst the Lakers were down was 20. So that's what most the Lakers were down in this game was 20 points. Lakers made runs. They had a run. I felt like the closest they could really get to was around 10, which almost reminded me of yesterday's game against the Houston Rockets. But I never felt like Atlanta was in jeopardy of losing the game. Atlanta would just miss a couple open shots, or Lakers were just hitting shots. They were getting buckets on the other end. But at no point did I think the Lakers were going to win this game. Why? Because they just don't play defense. They don't play defense. They don't play defense. I'm thinking about the size that they have. Again, I know Anthony Davis was not in this game, but you know what games Anthony Davis was in? AD was in the Clippers game. AD was in the Bulls game. AD was in the Warriors game. AD was in the game last night. Do we want to use Anthony Davis as an excuse? I could go back. Lakers it was just a couple weeks ago. Remember they played the Phoenix Suns. Remember they played Toronto, Phoenix, and Utah. Look at the amounts that they gave up. AD was there, and he was healthy in all these games. Toronto, they gave up 131. Phoenix gave up 127. At Utah, they gave up 132 points. Lake fans, I mean, what are we doing here? You're not – imagine an NFL team out there, all right, since we're about to reach the Super Bowl. Imagine an NFL team out there that plays no defense is going to go make a championship run. Just doesn't happen. Imagine a team in baseball that does not pitch. They don't have pitching. All they got is bats, and you're going to go win a World Series. It ain't happening. I mean, this roster is this roster. That's what it is. They're 24 and 25. I love actually listening to Byron Scott these last couple of post-game shows. Listening to him, he's not always on the broadcast on Spectrum, but he has been the last 2 days. And basically what he keeps saying is like this is who they are. If we think they're going to wake up one day and be something different, they're not going to be something different. Let me grab something. I'm gonna play you guys something that I think you guys will like, and I think it's a quote that, no question about it, describes the Lakers in a nutshell. Let me get the volume up. All right, give me 2 seconds here. I'm gonna share the screen. So this is from Dave McMenamin. Took this video post game. It's with LeBron. Let me set it up because LeBron, I think, is saying what everybody else is saying. And part of me, I disagree with him, but I think he can make the case for it. But take a quick listen to what LeBron says here post-game.
We could, on any given night, beat any team in the NBA. And then on any given night, we get our ass. We could, on any given night, beat any team in the NBA. And then on any given night, we get our ass kicked by any team in the NBA. That's just the... What's our record?
One game under 500 is what we've seen.
Under 500?
One game under 500.
Yeah, 24, 25. That's where we are. We could, on any...
All right, so he's not wrong on part of that. I'll tell you what I mean by that when I say he's not wrong on part of that. Hopefully you guys are able to hear that and there's no issues there. But LeBron saying we could beat any team in the NBA on any given night is not completely out of the realm. It's not. And I know there's probably some people there like, yeah, BS. What are you talking about? Lakers can beat any team any given night. No, they kind of done it. They beat the Thunder. They beat Phoenix a couple times. I know Phoenix wasn't completely healthy. They beat the Thunder twice. They already got 2 W's on the Clippers this year. I think there's a team that are missing out. They've hung against Minnesota. They have beat some talented teams. And what's the reasoning for that? If somebody wants to say, oh, well, they get up for games like that. All right, well, that's idiotic because you're 24 and 25. You better start getting up for all these games. But what he said, I think, is the perfect description of the Lakers. The perfect description of the Lakers is they can beat any team in the NBA, maybe, but they damn sure as hell can lose against any team in the league. I mean, that one's not even a question. I mean, if we're trying to find between the two things that he said, if you take both things that he said, all right, we could beat any team in the NBA. I want to analyze that one. I want to stop. I want to spend 15 minutes trying to figure out what that quote means. But the quote of we can lose to any team in the NBA, I don't need any more factual information. I don't need any data. I don't need anything. You're watching it. I'm watching it. They could lose to a Houston Rockets team that's 3 games below 500. They can lose to an Atlanta Hawks team that's 8 games below 500. They could lose against a Miami team with Jimmy Butler, without Jimmy Butler. Just go down the list. That's who the Lakers are. That's who the Lakers are right now, and we'd be fooling ourselves if we thought anything else. Okay, because I'm in the conversation and the topic, and I just shared that. Do I want to do Christian Wood right now? Let's do Christian Wood right now. I'll tell you why we're going to do Christian Wood right now. We're going to do Christian Woods because I think it's saying something about it's saying kind of something about where the Lakers are right now. And I'm going to explain what I mean there. All right, let me go down here to Christian Wood. For those, let me give the backstory of what's going on here, okay? There was a tweet that came out. It sounds like right before or right after the starting lineups were announced or right after the starting lineups were presented to the players, whatever it is. I know that the NBA, the teams have to release the starting lineup half hour before the game starts. The reason why I know that is because while I'm doing the pregame show, I'm waiting for the starting lineup to come out. Part of the information when I'm on 710 ESPN and I'm doing the pregame show, I need that information. So I want to know, obviously who's being released. So let's say today the starting lineup, I'm doing the pregame show, 4:30 is tip-off, 4 o'clock. I know that while I'm doing the pregame show, okay, hey, I got the starters for both teams here. Lakers sent out who the starters were going to be. And I got to be honest with you, I was a little surprised too. Jackson Hayes was in the starting lineup. I was like, oh, okay. They're going to try Jackson Hayes. They're probably just going to use that size. Hayes was part of that lineup yesterday where the Lakers came back against the Rockets for no reason at all for LeBron to play 37 minutes, and they were still going to lose the game. But he was a part of that. I'm like, okay, maybe there's some momentum there, whatever the case is. Starting lineups came out. I didn't notice it until I heard Dave McMenamin ask the question to Christian Wood, or somebody asked the question to Darvin Ham, or whatever it was post-game. Christian Wood tweeted out, LOL. So people then started saying to themselves, is Christian Wood saying LOL to the starting lineup that came out? It was around the same time. I'll let you listen to what Christian Wood said here to explain it.
I think I looked at it just now. I meant to quote something, but I didn't have the quote. I thought I did, and I just pressed send, and I couldn't check my phone before we had to go out. But it was an accident, so I didn't mean. I think I looked at it just now. I didn't mean it came off a certain type of way. I didn't mean it that way.
Normally, I just feel like that time we've covered you tweeting that time of the game is not your normal practice.
No. So I understand. Not basketball related. Definitely not basketball related.
All right, Christian Wood basically says, no, those two were not connected. Listen, I'll take his word for it. Fine, those two are not connected. All good, no problem. Dude's tweeting out half hour before a game. All right, that's a little interesting. You guys want to get ready for the game? Plus, you're Christian Wood. Like, Anthony Davis is not playing tonight. The reason why I think I'm not trying to say this is a big deal, but I think there's something here. And I'll tell you why I think there's something here. There's something here because I just want to know if Christian Wood's got an issue with the starting lineup and he's going to go out to social media to express his concern or laugh at the starting lineup that the coach is putting out there. Okay, well, there's clearly some disconnect here between a player and a coach. Is it just Christian Wood that thinks that, or is there a couple other players out there? All right, let's put to the side. Let's say that timing was just bad, and let's not connect the dots together because there's nothing to connect there. Let's just pretend here that let's give Christian Wood the benefit of the doubt and say Christian Wood said, hey, it has nothing to do with it. I'm going to take your word for it. You're on your phone half hour before the game starts? Like, I don't know what the protocol is, but if I'm Christian Wood and I know Anthony Davis is not playing in this game tonight, and I know that my number is probably going to get called on because they need me to step in a game like this, probably not having my phone out here and tweeting something out or scrolling through my phone or something along those lines. Either way, I think it's a bad look for Christian Wood. Okay, let me take it one step further. By the way, a lot of fire hams on this chat here. Let me take it one step further. Let me play this another way. He was asked about his minutes. Or no, he was asked because Anthony Davis is out, do you want to do more? Or do you kind of just say, hey, I got to just let the game kind of come to me. I got to just do my own thing. I can't replace Anthony Davis. And he said, yes, I'd like to do more. And he pointed out to his minutes, of how many minutes that he plays, that he would love to do more if he got more of those opportunities. Okay. That kind of connects with his tweet. So I don't know what to tell you. I just know that your team's 24-25. You're losing games. Effort is definitely in question. Nobody can sit here and tell me that there are no question marks about the Lakers' effort. There's no question marks about the Lakers' defense. There's no question marks about the Lakers' energy. You got to have one of the worst records since that in-season tournament. You were supposed to gain ground in the month of January. You're 7-8 through 15 games. That's it. January is done. It's done. It's a wrap. So you actually lost ground in the month of January. You already had a situation where this was after they lost to Miami and Memphis, where there was a lot of chirping going around, whether that was players or that was agents, but the message was coming across to a few people at The Athletic where they were reporting, there's some people that are not really agreeing with the lineups, the minutes, the this and that. That's when that Darvin Ham chatter got really loud. I mean, the hell's going on here? You know, and I'm not, this isn't me trying to be dramatic. It's just me describing to you What has happened over the last 30 days with the Lakers? And you could go back, and I saw somebody else put it up on the chat. Somebody else said, well, don't forget that Dallas game where Kyrie doesn't play and they were missing other role plays. As in, this has been going on basically since the in-season tournament ended. The Lakers have been all over the place. I mean, who would have thought they had some momentum? They go 14-9. They're at one point, they're 5 games over 500, 14-9. Guys are starting to come back into the lineup. I was sold on it. And I mean, this product right now, at least, is a disaster of what's going on. Could they turn it around? Sure. There's a lot of games left, but what's giving you the feeling or the indication that things are going to get turned around? Okay, let me get to some of these comments here. I've ignored these comments way too much here. Seiko, thank you very much for the super. I appreciate it. If you got a super, throw it in right now. I'm going to kind of go through some of these supers at the moment, and I'm going to try to get into some of the other comments as well, and I still got a number of topics that I want to get into. Seiko says, I'm a defensive-minded coach, Darvin Ham. That ain't happening. I mean, defensive-minded coach, I could list out all the score. And this is the thing that I think is probably one of the more discouraging things with the Lakers right now. I got no identity. I have no idea what their identity is. I think every single team, you want to have an identity, right? Every single team, you want to say, okay, like let me give you an example. Lakers play the Atlanta Hawks tonight. I know what their identity is. Their identity is, we're going to try to outscore you. That's their identity. Whether you like that strategy or not, that's their identity. Houston Rockets yesterday, top 10 team defensively in the NBA. They got an identity. If I ask you, what's the Lakers' identity? If you got an answer, you can tell me, because I have no idea what that identity is for the Lakers. So, Seiko, I think it's a good point. Yes, I've heard that quote come from Almost dropped my sparkling water there, guys. Almost dropped my sparkling water. I want to make sure you guys know drinking sparkling water. I'm not doing bourbon on a Tuesday, okay? It's Tuesday. Now, Thursday after the Celtics, it's a different story there. I don't know what can happen after that. Yeah, if that is what Darvin Ham mentioned. I know I mentioned it earlier in the show, but definitely defensive-minded coach, that ain't happening. Trade D'Lo for Murray, and please, Rob, fire Ham. Also, we need to make a smaller trade for a physical big man who can rebound, rim protect like Gafford. Okay. I was watching DeJounte Murray today very, very closely. And, I mentioned it when I was doing my radio show. We're not all watching Atlanta Hawks games every night. From what I know of DeJounte Murray, I like. And I've said this plenty of times that if the Lakers can get their hands on DeJounte Murray, cool. I'm in. I like the fact that he's got a 4-year extension coming in. 27-year-old, smooth player, can create for himself, can create for others. I'm a fan. Then D'Angelo Russell went on a crazy run. I still felt like if you can go get DeJounte Murray, go get him. I heard Spectrum in the broadcast say something to the effect. They said, what'd they say? They said this is the longest streak of D'Angelo Russell's career with 20 or more points. And that obviously broke today. Bless me, guys. Bless me. It happens. I got an average. Some people have an average. You go golf, you go bowling, you get on the basketball floor. Everybody kind of knows what your average is. I got an average. Once every 5 shows or so, I sneeze. But they said something to the effect that, so he had gone 7 straight games maybe of 20 points or more. It's the longest he's had in his entire career. And then that was obviously broke tonight. But that doesn't stop me from still kind of knowing, I know what D'Angelo Russell is. You're the player that you've been for most of your career, not a 2-week stretch, right? Not a 3-week stretch. I'm going to get into the D'Lo Murray numbers today, and I'm going to get into some of those comments. I'm going to do that in just a second. Something else to point out here, go get a physical big man who can rebound, a rim protector. You're right about that. They need that. There was a second there that people thought maybe the Lakers are going to go after Andre Drummond, something along those lines. Maybe that happens. Maybe it doesn't. I will tell you this. Don't be surprised that nothing really happens for another couple of days before teams start making moves. I had Jovan Buha of The Athletic on earlier in the pregame show, and he said that the talks with DeJounte Murray and the Lakers right now, they're stalled, but it doesn't mean it can't pop up again. Usually teams, they'll do something as you get closer to the trade deadline. Francis Mendoza. Lakers defense will be out versus the Celtics per Woj. I think Woj and Shams both put that out there. I think they both put that out there. Francis, I appreciate the super. Okay, let's go back to the conversation. I clearly, I know I definitely want to get into, and I'm sure a lot of you guys want to get into as well. I took a poll after which game was it? Which game was it where the Lakers, was it the Warriors? I can't remember. Maybe after the Warriors game, maybe after Chicago game. I can't remember. I took a poll, Laker fans, saying, hey, you want to trade D'Angelo Russell or no? 65% of Laker fans said no. They don't want to trade D'Angelo. They were fine with D'Angelo Russell. They wanted to ride D'Angelo Russell out. Maybe you still feel that way. Great. But these were the numbers tonight. This is one game. I'm not trying to make the comparison for one game, but I do think, for two players that are thrown in the middle of the trade deadline, and it's been like this now for a couple of months, and you actually have got real details of what the Lakers were offering, and it includes D'Angelo Russell's name and a first-round pick, I think a pick swap, something along those lines as well. In one iteration of it, we saw Jalen Hood-Schifino. When those two players are going to go up against each other, of course you're going to pay attention to that. How are you not going to pay attention to that? How are you not going to pay attention to what both of these players are doing and how they're going up mano a mano, I guess you can call it. D'Lo tonight, 3 of 11 from the field, 1 of 5 from the three-point line. He had 9 points. He had 5 assists. He had 2 turnovers. Not a good night for D'Lo. No other way to put it. Not a good night for D'Lo. But I don't think I'm going to kill D'Lo one night. D'Lo's been incredible for a 2-3 week stretch here. DeJounte Murray on the other side, 24 points, 9 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, shot 11 of 19 from the field. He did miss all his threes. He looked good to me. I'm a fan of his game. I really am. I'm a fan of DeJounte Murray's game. That's the best way that I can describe it. I'm a fan of his game. I would love to see him on the Los Angeles Lakers. I would love to see him on the Lakers. I think it would be great to see him on there. And I'm not 100% sure how everybody else feels out there, but that's how I look at these two players. If the Lakers got a chance to go get DeJounte Murray, I'd love to see it happen. All right, let's see what we got here. Murray is that dude. We need to trade Austin for Murray, trade D'Lo for another player. Yeah, I don't believe the Lakers saying basically they're not trying to trade D'Lo, or they're not trying to trade Austin Reeves. I understand that. I believe it, but I don't think anybody's untouchable. So you if the right trade came, I think. And can I be honest with you guys? Austin Reeves, I know tonight he had a good game. He's been incredibly inconsistent for the Lakers over this last month or so. And frankly, I don't think a lot of people are mentioning it, but he's been very inconsistent for the Lakers over the last year. And I don't really think you can argue that. So let's not pretend that, his stock is unbelievable as well. Tommy Alvarado. Yo, Slee, I missed the game. I have no idea who won. Lakers won by 20, bro. Dominated. Yeah, just turn off the stream right now and just take my word, man. Killed it today. Lakers were great, man. I know these comments might confuse you and everything else. Don't pay attention to them, man. Just look at me. Killed it today. Lakers were unstoppable, man. All right, let's see what else we got here. Somebody said something here that I think was good. I'm going to try to find it. And I think this is going to be the big question moving forward. Where is it? Come on. Where the hell is it? Somebody had something on the Lakers' chemistry. All right, this is it. Leon, thank you for comment here. Team clearly has locker room issues, no leadership. Yeah, I don't know. I think that might be the next one here, right? The next thing that we dissect here is there's some issues in that locker room. Are there players? I will say this, I kind of understand where Christian Wood's coming from. If he is frustrated with his minutes, I'm sure he's probably saying to himself, wait a minute here. I came to the Lakers. I could have gone to other teams and got some real run. I talked to him on Media Day, was doing my show with Travis. We did our show from Media Day for the Lakers. He said something that 8 years in the leagues, played for 8 different teams. He's never made the playoffs. I remember even asking him, how do you not worry about your own individual goals? I mean, of course, the guy's trying to get a contract in the NBA and be on a team for an extended period of time with the goals of the Lakers of just playing team ball. He's like, all that stuff will take care of itself. I'm not worried. I want to make the playoffs. I want to go on a run. But I get where he's coming from. What I mean by that is he's probably saying to himself, I'm still, like I said, I'm going to take his word for it. But I'm sure there's some frustration of, damn, even when AD plays, I still can't get 25 minutes. I still can't show what I could do. I just don't like that, however you look at it, on your phone, half hour before the game starts, AD's not playing and you don't have it going on. All right, see what else we got here. Bless you. Bless you, Sliwa. Bless you. God bless you. Bless you, Slee. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Still went through it. You know what I mean? Some people would sneeze and, the stream would stop immediately. They'd knock their laptop over. I'm still here. I'm still here. Now, if I sneeze again, then, it's a different story. I can't promise you guys anything. They have no identity. They play with no offensive system. It's high pick and roll, then isolation. I don't know what their identity is. You're right about that. I have no idea what their identity is. It was a talent show. I like this. It was a talent show for Murray and D'Lo tonight, and Murray definitely won that show. Man, I'm sure DeJounte Murray is just trying to get on a franchise where he feels like, he can make some type of a run or make the playoffs. By the way, that's not a guarantee that that's with the Lakers. That's the sad part. The sad part is that Lakers aren't guaranteed anything anyways. All right, Justin. No media outlet or podcast won't admit that Ham is the problem because it looks bad on the organization. Therefore, it's easier to blame players or propose a trade. Okay, Justin. Darvin Ham's not having a good stretch. Not having a good stretch. There's a lot of times watching a game, there's frustration watching Darvin Ham. I said this yesterday. I think I said this yesterday when we were doing the post game. Darvin Ham, I think, has the respect of the players. I think he could motivate players. I think Darvin Ham has been around the league. I think he was saying today he's been in the league since 1996 as a player, and then obviously assistant coach and everything else. The guy's obviously been around some really, really knowledgeable people, and just his experience of being around the NBA for this long. I think there's some characteristics that he have that I'm a fan of. I don't like his in-game stuff. I don't like his adjustments, or let's call them lack of adjustments. Sometimes a pulse for the game where, hey, we came in with this strategy, but it's not working. All right, it's all good. I got plan B, C, D, and E ready to go. Or if something's working, sticking to it. I think you cannot be a team one game below 500 after you went to the Western Conference Finals last year and think that the coach has nothing to do with it. I don't think this is about no media outlet or podcast is willing to admit it. Of course, everybody knows that Darvin Ham, he's not having a good year. Darvin Ham a month ago was getting questions, less than a month ago, at Crypto.com Arena. Do you have the backing of ownership? Do you think your job is on the line? And if you think it is, do you think that's fair? You can't get any more than that. So I don't know if I completely agree that nobody's talking about Darvin Ham. I feel like Darvin Ham comes up a lot. I really do. I feel like Darvin Ham comes a lot, and he should. They're 2 games, or they're a game below 500, and we're past the halfway point. I think it's completely fair that it comes up. Underdog Fantasy, right up here. Proud partner of Hoops Talk. Very appreciative to have them as a partner of the show. I'm going to share with you guys my picks that I got coming up for tomorrow. If those who don't know, Underdog Fantasy is part of these daily fantasy sites. Underdog from the get-go. I actually approached them about a partnership idea. They were open to listening to my conversation. They believed in my vision, and then here we are. We got Underdog as a partner. They will match your first deposit of up to $100. What does that mean? Sign up. Use that code HoopsLA, and you put $100 in, you'll have $200 in your account. You got $100 free dollars to play with. Put $50 in, you have $100 in your account. You have $50 free dollars to play with. I always do, and I'm going to show you guys here my strategy. The way I always play, I do pick'ems. Okay, I go to pregame, as in games that have not started yet. By the way, you could do current games. I got the Warriors and the Sixers on right now. We need the Sixers to win if you're the Lakers. And I do NBA. I already got my 2 picks here. Nikola Jokic, higher or lower than 26.5 points. Anthony Edwards, higher or lower than 27.5 points. Denver's playing at OKC tomorrow. Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves are hosting the Dallas Mavericks. You guys tell me, I'll take your picks. Nikola Jokic, higher or lower. Anthony Edwards, higher or lower than 27.5 points. I'll come back to it in a little bit. You guys can tell me what your picks are. Please use that code HoopsLA. If you have interest and you want to get on there, it's fun to do it. Use HoopsLA and give the show some love there. I would appreciate that. All right. A couple more topics I want to get into. AD Lake fans. He didn't play tonight. I mentioned in the radio show today when I was doing it this morning that I worried about AD. He didn't look right against Houston. It was part of the reason why he did get pulled from the game and didn't play in that fourth quarter. And I wish they did the same thing to LeBron because the Lakers didn't have a chance of winning that game. But clearly doesn't look comfortable. This is something that he battled with earlier in the season. So this is the second time that he's now dealt with it. And tell me the margin for error that the Lakers have here without Anthony Davis. AD has been incredible this year. I don't think there's one Laker fan that's on this chat right now that can truly, genuinely tell me that they're upset with Anthony Davis or they're not happy with this game this year or his availability or any of that stuff, or just playing through injuries, kind of toughening it out this year. I don't think there's anybody that would say that. With all that said, Lakers are still a game below 500. Okay, what happens if AD's not there? What happens if AD misses a stretch of 2 weeks? They're going to probably lose 2 games for every game that they win, right? That I think is a fair assessment there. You're going to win 33% of your games instead of 50% of your games. So the AD thing, I think it's fair to keep an eye out on and see what eventually happens from there. But ultimately, at the end of the day, my fear is that Anthony Davis is his best portion of his season we've already seen. And if that was his best portion of his season, then we're in some, real issues because the Lakers are still where they are as far as the standings go. What do we got here? Lakers win 0 games without Anthony Davis. Seen a lot more of people upset at Austin Reeves. Really upset at Austin Reeves. Look at this. Reeves sucks. This is an interesting one here. If NBA was the NFL, Darvin Ham is a good defensive coordinator, but not a head coach. He's in over his head, so now the defense is slipping. Well, they got nothing if they can't play defense. I'll tell you that right now. Tommy, appreciate the chat there. Did yesterday's overs win? They didn't. Should I go under on both of those? Maybe I should go under. I do over way too much. Everybody tells me on the chat, out. All you do is pick over. Maybe I go unders on both of those. I'm getting outsmarted here. All right, Francis Mendoza. Media does not blame Genie Bus on anything, having a losing record most of the time since taking charge. Okay, let's address that one. By the way, you guys can ask any question here. I mean, we could all be honest and still be respectful. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Um, Genie was getting an incredible amount of blame for putting Jim Buss in that position for the 5 years, 6 years that the Lakers had that run. A lot of blame, and she deserved it. It wasn't the right move. And it was Mitch Kupchak and it was Jim Buss. They went to a stretch. You guys know this. They were drafted number 2 every single year. All we were looking forward to was watching the Lakers lose so they can get a high draft pick. I think at this stage, Genie has handed the keys to Rob Pelinka. And let's not forget what the Lakers did. They traded for Russell Westbrook. It was a disaster. They found a way to get out of that mess last year and got to the Western freaking Conference Finals out of nowhere. So the keys are, I think, in Rob Pelinka's hands. You know, whatever you think we should do it. And I think that's typically the job of a good owner, is to find the right people to go get the job done and then kind of get the hell out of the way. I think that's what Dr. Jerry Buss did a lot of. And Dr. Jerry Buss, I know his stylistically and everything else, he knew when to get involved and not get involved. And the noise will get louder if the Lakers, let's see how the rest of this year plays out. Let's see what happens at the trade deadline. It's not like everything's going to be all calm, cool, and collective, and everyone's going to be happy if the Lakers do, obviously awful. But I don't think anybody was complaining about Genie when LeBron comes to the team. You trade for Anthony Davis. You win an NBA championship in the Orlando bubble. You get to the Western Conference Finals last year. I will say the Lakers, if they are a stock, their stock is either going like this or it's freaking cratering. It's one or the other. I was doing this earlier today. This is LeBron so far this year. Okay, LeBron so far this year. By the way, I have reggae music on just in the background, and it's just for me. I want to play it with you guys. God, it's such good music. I have such good reggae music, I can't play it because if I play it, YouTube's like, hey, you got to get out of here. I got to figure out how to do it. I know there's some places you could pay for, and I got to figure out how to do it. I would love to have some music in the background here where we're all just kind of chilling. Doesn't sound like I'm so serious. Think of since LeBron has got here. First year LeBron gets here, they don't make the playoffs. Second year with LeBron James, they win an NBA championship. Third year with LeBron James, they're out in the first round. Fourth year with LeBron James, they don't make the playoffs. And fifth year, they make it to the Western Conference Finals. They're all over the place. Some of it might have to do with injuries. Some of it might have to do with poor decisions with the front office and trades and everything else. But damn, it's all over the place. I'm happy to be critical about anybody. So, Francis, I appreciate the comment, but there's no dodging anything. I mean, people are just being honest. I think people got to give credit where credit's due, and people have to be critical where it needs to be. It's a different conversation. Should have ran it back in 2021. You're not wrong there. They should have. I think a lot of people actually, surprisingly, they like the signing of Dennis Schroeder. Remember, Montrezl Harrell came from the Clippers, one of the better players off the bench, one of the better six men off the bench, signed with the Lakers. Who was the other player that came? Marc Gasol. Time it looked good. It is a championship. It's not the same championship. I agree with that. But it is a championship. Okay. Let's keep going here. Such a good song right now. I'll tell you guys what's on right now. Israel Vibration. Do you guys know Israel Vibration? Go look up. If you guys like reggae, old school reggae, we're talking like 70s. 70s is my favorite era of reggae. 70s reggae. It doesn't get better than that. 80s is good too. There's still good artists right now, but 70s reggae, for some reason, that's kind of my era. Go look up Israel Vibration. Can I just play the music with you guys? Hell's going on here? All right. Next game for the Lakers. Thursday. Thursday at Boston. So if things weren't already tough for the Lakers, got their ass kicked again tonight, 138 to 122. They don't play a lick of defense. They got the 37-11 Boston Celtics coming up on Thursday. Boston's real deal. You guys remember after the Christmas game, Lakers played the Celtics. And I think I ended up at some point doing a video. I can't remember when I did. If I did it after, later, the next day, whatever it is, I was complimenting the Celtics. I saw a lot of people in the chat were like, all right, the world's over. Slee was jockeying the Boston Celtics. No, they just played really, really good against the Lakers. They're a solid, solid team that has everything. While the Laker game was going on today, I was just kind of doing my own research for the Celtics game coming up on Thursday. I'll tell you this about Boston. Kind of crazy. I do because I do the pregame show for every pregame show for 710 ESPN on the radio. I got a pretty good idea of what a lot of these teams are doing because they're going to play them. So this was insane that I saw. I've never seen this, and I probably won't see it for any other team. Usually one team either shines on one side of the ball. They're either really good on offense or they're really good on defense. Or they're middle of the pack for both, right? The Celtics are offensive ranking in the NBA, number 2 in the league. Defensive ranking in the NBA, number 3 in the league. What the F? They got a lot. Let's just put it that way. So somebody was asking me, what do I think of the game coming up against the Boston Celtics? I mean, we could try to sell ourselves that, well, hey, look, the Lakers have went out. They've played good against some of these other teams out there. OKC, they have played well against them. OKC is a very, very young team. They're a very, very young team. So I wouldn't put too much stock into the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm a fan of their team, where they're going. Jalen Williams is an absolute baller. Everybody talks about Shea Gilgeous, Chad Holmgren. Jalen Williams is a freaking baller. That dude, go watch out for that guy. Boston Celtics are not the Oklahoma City Thunder. Boston Celtics are ready to win an NBA championship. Like, they have gone through that process of your young guys have got the opportunities to play in the NBA Finals, the Eastern Championship. They've gone through heartbreak. They've kind of had it all. Drew Holiday's on that team. Porzingis obviously part of the team. I'm not telling you it's a walk in the park. What I'm telling you, when people say, what do you think of the game coming up on Thursday? What would give me confidence that the Lakers are going to win that game? Blind faith? Okay, we can have blind faith. We can do that. That's fine. But on paper and watching that team play and watching how the Lakers play right now, that's not good. That's not a good matchup. Let's see what else we got here. About to go 0-4. Yeah, that Knicks game is going to be a problem too coming up on Saturday. Knicks game is going to be an issue too. It is. Even though they don't have Julius Randle, they still play tough. And teams that punch back against the Lakers, there isn't too much punching the other way. Look at the Knicks. They've won 8 in a row. They've won 9 of their last 10. So if you were trying to stack up some W's, you better have got them earlier in the road trip. They beat the Warriors by 1 and already lost to Houston and Atlanta. So that's going to be a tough one. All right, I'm going the I'm going to try a different strategy. I'm going lower and lower on both of these. I'm going lower on Jokic tomorrow against OKC, lower on Anthony Edwards against Dallas. That's it. I'm sold. Somebody said, did you go higher or lower yesterday? I went higher, so I'm going to go lower on this one. That's it. That's how quick it is. Put your picks in. Use that code HoopsLA, and thank you for sitting through that. All right, we got anything else, or are we done? We done here, Laker fans? Watch the Lakers beat the green out of the Celtics. All right. See what happens. I hear this crazy talk about the Celtics every year, and they've not won the championships. KG, Paul Pierce. You're right. But that doesn't mean that they're a really, really good team. And this might be their best team. When Dame got traded to the Bucks, the fact that Drew Holiday got circled back around over there, I mean, that's incredible. That's crazy. Okay, Lake fans, I'm out of here. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Heads up, I got my radio show tomorrow, and then also got Lakers Talk on radio tomorrow as well. If you ever, you ever want to listen to that, always on the ESPN LA app, you can listen to. There's the tiles there. I got everything there to listen to any of that stuff. So I appreciate you guys hanging out. Yeah, I think we're good. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you, Lake fans. Lakers lose. Lakers get their ass kicked again, this time by the Atlanta Hawks. They're very giving of who they get their ass kicked from. They just kind of spreading it around to the league. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you guys have a good night. We'll see you Thursday after the Lakers take on the Boston Celtics.